Okay, and we're live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Honey Badger Radio. My name is Brian, and I'm here with Allison, and this is Maintaining Frame number 181, taking the official Ambivalent Sexism test to find out if we're cooked.
I hope I get a perfect score.
Yeah, we're going to try and ace this one. I don't know what acing means, but
it means that we are 110% misogynists. Well, I hope I get a better score than Brian. That's all I'll say.
I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Oh, I see. Yeah. This is a competition, but I can only enter one entry.
Got to bring in the toxic masculinity.
That's right. Where's my cigar? Where's my cigar and scotch?
Or you could have a pipe. Go for the erudite toxic masculinity.
More patriarchal.
Yeah, more patriarchal.
I don't really care, Margaret.
All right. Yeah, let's okay. I guess I should do the things, right?
Yeah, do the things.
So if you would like to send us a tip and a message with that tip, you can go to feedthebadger.com/justthetip. The very best way for you to send us a tip, because we get the full benefit of whatever funds you send minus the transaction fees. But believe me, YouTube takes a heck of a lot bigger bite than Feed the Badger does. So feedthebadger.com/justthetip for that. And you also get the full benefit of not sending your comment through YouTube's comment thresher system if you choose to send a comment. Anyway, feedthebadger.com/justthetip for that. And if you want to support the show to make sure we can continue to bring you this delectable content, which is getting more delectable as we go, and also riling some feathers, apparently, judging from the comments that we've been getting, then please go to feedthebadger.com/support. You don't have to like us. You don't even have to agree with us to support us, because we have been supported in the past by people who apparently disagree with us fervently, but you're allowed to do that. We don't censor your comments, nor do we try to get you fired if you disagree with us. All right. So feedthebadger.com/support for that. And with that, let's get on to the show.
All right. So before we do, though, I did get a super chow late last night.
Ooh,
and figured I'd read it because based on when I skimmed it, it doesn't look like it applies to any specific show we did. So this might just be fine here. So Interesting Trivia gave us a $5 super chow and said, I sometimes see posts from Chinese social media apps about dating and relationships in China. For example, I saw a recent post that pointed out that women will initiate divorces because their single or divorced friends suggest that they can do better than their current husbands, or that their husbands are a drag on the wife's independence. Surprisingly, the comments often point out how other womanisms that overlap quite a bit with what red pillars know about women over here. Female nature crosses nations. Coffee, like he wants to put a coffee emoji. We'll give him a coffee emoji if you guys are watching. Yeah, well, it's like, this is I mean, I don't want to say it's like destiny, but I think that if you are a person, like a woman, and you're surrounded by women who are embittered, then they're more likely to want you to be in the boat with them, like misery likes company, that kind of thing. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, China's got birth rate problems too.
It's everywhere. I think that women are particularly prone to envy and feeling like they have been taken advantage of. I don't think that I don't think that inclination is destiny, but we don't really we put more pressure on men not to be like that than we do women.
Yeah.
And I think the results
definitely, there's definitely more social pressure on men to behave well, and more shame, and and there's almost none on women. So I think that's right.
I'm now using Grok analyses of Twitter posts to actually show this to people. And it's actually, because people will say, oh no, we give men the benefit of the doubt. One argument I had was on that. You remember that a while back, that Twitter post where the feminist was celebrating the woman who set that dude on fire because he disrespected her by saying, get back in the
kitchen. I remember that.
Gaming ribbing. And they celebrated, or they were they're saying, oh, do more of that or whatever.
Take that,
And
men.
let's take that. So I had Grok do an analysis, because actually I think it was the N word on Twitter who said to me, oh, that men do this. And I'm like, well, Grok, tell me how many men do this. And of course it comes back with very few. And also when they do, they get retweeted and there is hundreds of thousands of likes on the retweets condemning them. So, but when women engage in this kind of celebratory violence towards men as a result of men disrespecting them, they get on average like 0 to 300 positive responses. And although they do get condemnation, it's more in the realm of thousands of likes on the posts that condemn them rather than hundreds of thousands of likes on the posts that condemn them. So there's a difference in the energy that we as a human gestalt put into condemning men celebrating violence against women because women disrespect men, and condemning women celebrating violence against men because they disrespected women. Did I say disrespect women twice? I don't know, but that wasn't what I intended. As you can see, even I have that bias. So, and I pointed this all out. It's been great because that's what Grok excels at, scraping Twitter for general patterns in human behavior. And this is it's been fun. It's been fascinating. It's hard to lie about ourselves in the age of AI. All right. So
anyway, that was the super chow. Let's get into the question. So the ambivalent sexism test is put up by a website called idrlabs.com, which is short for Individual Differences Research. And I learned about this because Goodfella made a video where he took the test. And I want to reveal his score later. But we'll see if we can beat it. So, and
I thought you were like, this is a competition now. So you're turning.
No. I mean, like, we're going to have to pick an answer because only one person can play at a time. Although you guys can play at home because I put a link to the test in the description. You don't have to sign up or create an account or anything like that. You can just start answering questions and it'll tell you how sexist you are at the end. So maybe find out. So let's read a little bit of the description so we know what we're getting into. So this is categorized under feminism, politics, and psychology. And it's called the Ambivalent Sexism Test. And it says the Ambivalent Sexism Inventory is one of the most famous instruments for measuring sexism against women. Based on the work of psychologists Glick and Fisk, the test assesses two types of sexism that, according to its authors, complement each other to reinforce traditional gender roles and patriarchal social structures. Two types of sexisms. More than 15 years of research on the ambivalent sexism inventory supports that this test possesses genuine psychometric characteristics and is both empirically reliable and valid. Extensive research in over 19 countries has similarly established that the ambivalent sexism inventory is valid across cultures. Where do you fall on the ambivalent sexism inventory? For each of the following items, indicate your level of agreement below. Okay. What have we established? That this is supposedly like, really legitimate, like what we're going to find. But most importantly, and I think not surprisingly, it's measuring sexism against women, not against men, against women. So, and not against non-binary people, or anything like that. So, all right.
Well, non-binary people don't matter.
No, they don't. Not now.
No, not in this instance, guys. Just step back.
Yeah. Only when we're trying to erase men does it matter. Well, but this is not. This is about women. Honestly, so,
if people want to argue that there's only two sexism, look at how sexism is looked at in feminism. There you go. There's only people you can be sexist against, and the people who can be sexist. So let's look at this.
Yeah,
I'm going to see if I can log in on Twitter.
There are 22 questions. We can chat a little bit about each question, and because of the way it's worded or whatever. So question 1. Men should sacrifice to ensure the well-being of women. And then there are 4. There's like neutral, which I guess you could pick. Slightly agree, mostly slightly disagree, mostly disagree. What do you think? Men should sacrifice to ensure the well-being of women.
Okay, how about we just do this two ways? Let's go let's go through it twice, but two different characters, because this is going to be difficult.
Sure.
Let's go with super chivalrous.
All right, you want to do it this time, super chivalrous? Because
And
this
then
could
we'll
still
go,
be sexist, right? It could still be considered sexist against
yeah,
women.
let's go with super chivalrous first, and then we'll go with equality next.
All right.
Strongly agree.
Strongly agree. Okay, next. Question 2. Women have just as much of a sense of honor and duty as men.
Are they held to the same standard of honor and duty as men? No. What would a chivalrous say? Probably disagree.
Yes, I think. I mean, if we see it as a positive. But this is a funny question because it's literally framed as like this is what women feel. Like we don't know what women feel. Like I don't know how you measure that. I mean, you can measure what we think women feel, but I don't know. These are weird questions. They're very broad.
Why is it that our short stream is getting so little traffic? That's really bizarre. It's like one. I mean, how could that possibly be one? I am watching and you're probably watching, so it's a 2.
No, I'm not watching. Right. I'm in the back room. It doesn't count as a view.
Because we used to get at least a few, but now what?
I guess
YouTube decided to kill us. All right, let's go with women have just as much of a sense of honor and duty as men. What would a chivalrous say?
I would say they would. Well, it's tough because a chivalrous person, a man, let's say a white knight, might say they don't, but they shouldn't have to.
Yes.
But then one that wants that they see a sense of honor and duty.
Let's just straight. Like, this is simpler. Do whatever you think is the best to do for women, right? So we are a person who believes that men should sacrifice for women, but also that women have the same amount of honor and duty as men. So we're enforcing more honor and duty on men, but we believe both men and women are equally capable of it. Okay, go with agree. Just go with agree.
All right, next. Women lose fairly. When women lose fairly, they claim it was due to discrimination.
Disagree, because we're going with whatever we think is best for women. Yeah, strongly disagree. We go with whatever we think is best for women.
Yeah.
When women seek control over men in long-term heterosexual relationships, of course, what do we think is the best way to portray women? Strongly disagree.
Yes, of course they don't do that.
In emergency, women should not necessarily disagree. Well, what's the best for women? Strongly disagree.
In an emergency, women should not necessarily be rescued before men. I'm reading the whole question for people who listen to the podcast later. Should not. So this is strongly disagree?
Yeah, strongly disagree. What I'm trying to emulate is basically whatever is best for women. And I'm wondering what kind of sexism that'll end up being. Okay, next.
Women are too easily offended.
Well, obviously, strongly disagree. That's not flattering to women.
No, impossible.
Yeah.
That's not flattering.
Gender equity and equal rights are entirely reasonable demands. Yes, even though we are demanding that men sacrifice more and that we never look at what women do in relation to how men feel, but we do look at how things in relation to how women feel. Obviously, we are pursuing equality because we're putting women first. So disagree. Agree. Sorry, strongly agree. Because that's women, right. That's pro-woman. We're doing the pro-woman position.
Yep.
A good woman should be put on a pedestal. Oh, shit. We're going to get it here. Agree. Oh, wait. But good. Isn't that assuming that we have the right to morally judge women?
Every woman should be on a pedestal, not just the good ones.
Every woman. Yes. The murderers, the rapists, every single woman should be placed on a pedestal. So this obviously,
or all women are good women. Therefore,
all women are good women. Yeah, exactly. This is a trick question, guys. Should we just put it in the middle? Like, Indecisive.
I think we shouldn't weasel out of this one. So, all right, if we're the most chivalrous, I
We're the
think
most
that
pro-woman.
you would
Most
say a good woman should be put on a pedestal, but you would also say that there are no bad women.
yeah. So which do you agree,
So,
dude?
so yeah, I think we should agree.
Oh, I think we're gonna get it for that one. Women are generally people to men.
better people than men,
Agree. This is benevolent
obviously.
sexism towards women, is it?
Obviously.
Okay. If a man and a woman go on a date, the man should not necessarily pay. Strongly disagree because that's not a benefit to women. Wait. Not necessarily pay. So if she says she wants to pay, that would be sort of a
Then it's
benefit.
good.
Then it's good. These questions, it's really difficult to figure out the absolute pro-woman stance in these questions. Okay, in some of them anyway. Let's disagree, I guess.
Let's disagree.
Women seek special favors under the guise of equality. Okay, that's unflattering to women.
That
So
is
we need
very
to disagree.
sexist.
Yes.
How dare?
How dare?
Yeah. How dare you?
Women should be cherished and protected by men. Agree.
Yes.
This is a benefit to women, right? I'm guessing this is going to put us strongly into benevolent sexism because believing that women are better than men is benevolent sexism against women. This has got psychoactive or what? Psychoactive, that's the wrong word. This has got some kind of psychological validity, guys. Women exaggerate the problems they face in society. Well, that's not flattering to women, so disagree, obviously.
Yes, disagree.
Because women talking about their problems isn't actually considered at this time a scientific position that, based on scientific ethics, should be able to be put in question. No, it is actually a subhuman, criminal, and antisocial thing to question whether or not all of the things that women are victim of, they are actually victims of. Even though actually being a victim is the traditional role of women. You know what? I'm obviously a dread misogynist. Let's keep going. Women tease men.
Benevolent
Oh,
misogynist.
that's not flattering. Obviously disagree.
Yeah, women do not
This is
tease
criticism
men
of
on
women.
purpose.
No.
That's men's fault. Teach men not to rape.
We'll teach men not to be rapeable, I think, is more in that line.
Yeah.
If the country has compulsory military conscription, the conscription should apply to men and women equally. Disagree? I know we're going to get... But
women want that military glory, but
no, they don't want conscription. That's force.
They don't want conscription.
That's a violation of bodily autonomy. I thought we were against that. Let's go with disagree. Yeah. Like strongly disagree.
All right, we'll strongly disagree on that one.
Yeah. Women are just as rational and logical as men. Well, that's a flattering thing. You don't want to insult the women, so we got to go with strongly agree.
But what if they're more rational and logical than men, though?
Yeah, you know what? I'm getting where the sexism that this test is measuring is coming.
I mean, they could just be better than men at everything.
Yeah, exactly. Like, where's that test? Where's the test that just tests whether or not you think women should be benefited in every circumstances? We should never consider the situation of men and women are just everything superior to men. I mean, because that sounds like it's the only thing that wouldn't be sexist. Okay, let's go with agree.
All right, we're going to go with agree.
Because we don't want to be doing anything that's not flattering to women. Women fail to appreciate all the things men do for them. Do you know that do you guys really think that... I mean, honestly, there's the mainstream narrative that everything that men have contributed to the world is oppressing women.
Yeah.
Okay, you got to go with disagree though, because we're being flattering. What is the most beneficial to present to women? I guess for women.
Yes, the most flattering way to look at it.
Most flattering.
Of course, women appreciate things that men.
But there's just nothing to appreciate, right?
But there's nothing to appreciate. Yeah. And they don't appreciate all the violence that men do to women. Obviously.
Women have a more refined sense of culture than men. So all of this is based on flattery of women, but I'm sensing that some of the flattery is going to be considered benevolent
sexism. Yeah.
and some of the flattery is going to be considered not hostile. Okay, just go with fully agree.
All right, fully agree. Women are definitely more refined and cultured.
Okay, so let's just going back on this, guys. We believe that men should sacrifice for women, that men should sacrifice their bodily autonomy to maintain the protections of the societies that women are part of, but women shouldn't have to, and that in every instance, women are better than men if that's the option, and or that women do everything right. And we're going to go through from that position, and we're going to find out what kind of sexism against women that is. Okay, question. I have a special sensitivity that men could never achieve. Obviously. Agree.
I'm sorry.
This is sexism against women inventory.
Oh, God. A special sensitivity that men could never achieve. They're
Okay.
X-Men. Women are X-Men. They have special abilities that men don't have.
Strongly achieve. Agree.
Of course. Yes.
Women are too eager to interpret innocent remarks as sexist.
Oh, this is like they're too easy to. That's like the other thing about them being easily offended. I disagree. I wouldn't. Well, I never. That's what I think.
Are we equally not allowed to make negative? No, of course, we're perfectly allowed to make negative generalizations of men. And that's actually true observations. Like men oppress women. Like the fundamental relationship between men and women has been characterized by oppression. Unless feminists have complete control over it. That's the only time when it's not men not doing their oppressing, which is not supposed to be inherent to their nation, but is the emergent property of everything that they do together ever throughout history. Okay. Yeah. Disagree. No, women aren't prone to interpret.
They aren't to anything. They're always just the right amount of whatever it is.
Yes, always just the right amount.
Remember when was it Mark Zuckerberg's like CFO of Facebook? And I forget her name, Sandberg maybe. It was like years ago, maybe 2017 or so. And the new word that was like sexist was just the word too, T-O-O. Do you remember that? I remember that. I remember too, like for women, they're too this, they're too that. Just the word too was like the new sexist word. And so obviously we can't have women are too eager to interpret because it's got the word too in it. That's a trigger word. That's a microaggression. We're going to disagree with that.
Yeah.
Hard disagree.
Yeah.
Sheryl Sandberg. Thank you. That's what it was. What was that?
Well, I mean, but there's no microaggressions that apply to men. That's what I was getting at.
No.
Microaggressions can't. In fact, me saying or even preferring the possibility of microaggressions applying to men is in of itself a microaggression
against women. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Too and bossy. That was it. She was the band bossy lady. Yeah. All right. A woman cannot be happy without a man to look after her.
Oh, obviously disagree. Is that denying the truth of boss baby?
Contraire, mon frère.
Oh, contraire. Yes. Okay.
There is no way even a woman who is unhappy is actually happy. She just doesn't understand it yet. And then lastly, women have nurturing capabilities that men could never achieve ever in a lifetime.
Again, this is the sexism against women inventory.
Oh, okay. Should I agree with that?
Yeah, agree. Strongly agree.
I agree with that. Okay, we're gonna finish and see what we get.
What's our test? All
right? Ambivalent sexism test. Your results. 88%. Benevolent sexism. Wait, but we answered everything. We got 0 hostile sexism.
What the?
It's all sexism, though.
It's all sexism. All of it. Any attitude towards women, period, is sexism. Even the attitude that men should sacrifice for them, women are superior in every capacity. That's benevolent sexism, guys. Guys, didn't you realize? Like, how this is absolute stupidity. What does it say about our result? And what was the Oh, I guess there's only, what's the 12%? We're 88% benevolent sexism,
I don't know where the
12% what?
12% went. I guess it's indifference or possibly
Indifference.
not sexist.
Okay. All right. So
I'll read I won't read the hostile sexism section. I'll just read the benevolent one because we're gonna take it again and try to go like super like red pill like red pill answers.
Rage. And then maybe we'll try to get no sexism if that's even possible.
Yeah, good luck with that. Okay, but let's see. Benevolent sexism, attitudes towards women that may seem positive on the surface, but also serve to perpetuate gender stereotypes and gender inequality. For example, the belief that men should protect women, that women thrive better in nurturing roles, or that women are somehow purer than men may all be seen as forms of benevolent sexism.
Can I propose another sexism test? How much you view women as victims of things test? Right? How little you can recognize that women take action and make choices, and those choices have consequences. Can we do that test? Because this test is an example of victimhood sexism. You just took something that is frankly offensive, like presenting these attitudes. First of all, I've seen lots of radical and feminists who believe this stuff. And of course, that's patriarchy, right? Okay. All right. Okay. But here's the thing. You're saying that seeing women as uniquely good and nurturing, that's bad. Well, can we recognize that women are equally likely to rape and engage in domestic violence? Right? No, of course not. That's going too far. So, but what I'm saying is that this is within a context of people who are desperate to apply the label of victim to women and see everything in terms of men's agency. These statements do not harm women, right? They may support traditional gender roles, but those traditional gender roles benefit women. It benefits women to be seen as more sensitive or intelligent or nurturing or whatever else positive thing, good, more moral than men. How could it not? Do you think that any group of people that was in social power saw itself as less moral, less nuanced and sensitive and aware and less good and less valuable than the people that they ruled? Like, seriously, this is the attitude of aristocrats to the coarse, degenerate plebs. And you're telling me that this is benevolent sexism targeting women? That's ridiculous. This is an obsession with making women out to be victims of anything, including positive regard. I think women are wonderful. Oh, you just a sexist that hates women. But I think they're wonderful. Oh, shut up about this horrible sexism. Hate speech. But if you don't think they're wonderful, that's also hate speech. This is like, okay, let's go total Allison on this.
Before we do that, I got a super chow. I'm going to read it. And then I also want to read something that's a little bit of spaghetti that I think adds some kind of negative context to this whole thing. And then we'll do another run through of the test. So Sleepy Aussie gave us $5 and says, every question on this test is the definition of a leading question. I got 97% hostile sexism. Well, if I'm going to be a sexist, I might as well be the sexist that benefits me the most. This test fails to give men a positive identity, and so is simply another form of shaming. Well, yes, that's exactly the point. That's why I decided to go through it, because I knew that's how this is like a BuzzFeed test, but it's like on a more academic space. What does that tell you? Like, it's like it's like finding out which Disney princess villain you are. Okay, so please note, there's a note here. It says the ambivalent sexism inventory is rooted in liberal feminism, which is a brand of feminism. It's one of the flavors. As such, its authors define positive female stereotypes and behaviors that give preferential treatment to women on account of their gender as sexism, the benevolent sexism scale. Someone who sees gender issues from the perspective of cultural feminism or intersectional feminism would not necessarily regard benevolent sexism as a form of sexism. So they're just like, this is them saying, please don't attack us, fellow feminists. We're doing this from this other feminist perspective that we know you guys hate, but we're basically like covering our ass so that we don't get in trouble. Because, I mean, intersectionals would say, why is it divided into two genders? That would be their main problem. So,
yeah, well, you know what? As long as they're fighting each other, that sounds like a good thing. But what is the feminism that doesn't always land on females or victims relative to men?
There is no brand of that.
Show me that feminism, because that's my feminism. Except there is none, so I'm not. Okay, let's go full Allison on this test.
All right, I'm gonna let you answer honestly, and we'll get your answers.
No, disagree strongly.
These are different questions, I think. Women are generally better people than men.
Better people than men. Even if you say that, if you disagree, then wouldn't that be equality? So disagree strongly.
Okay, strongly disagree.
Strongly disagree.
Women fail. Let me read the questions and you give your answer, okay?
Okay, all right.
Women fail to appreciate all the things men do for them.
Strongly disagree, or strongly agree.
Agree.
The one, yeah.
Women have a more refined sense of culture than men.
Yeah, that's because Mozart was a woman, and Van Gogh was a woman, and Picasso was a woman, and disagree strongly.
Okay. Women have just as much of a sense of... Let me read it, Allison. Women have just as much a sense of honor and duty as men.
To what? The honor and duty aren't just empty, flattering terms. You have to have them to something, which means you have to be judged by your behavior towards that thing. What thing are women judged in relation to? Well, certainly isn't God anymore, and certainly isn't society, because society is always in debt to them, because society has always failed them, and it certainly isn't men, because men are the worst of the lot. So disagree. Like, by what definition? Can women have honor and duty without something to have honor and duty to? Yeah, strongly disagree. I'm going to go for 99% fucking hostile sexism.
You're a bit hostile.
Yes, agree. 100%.
Women seek special favors under the guise of equality.
100% agree. What is this, just the criticism of feminism test? Like, seriously.
Yeah, right? Answer these questions based on the ideology we've created. You don't like our ideology. Aw. All right, next, let me read it first, okay? Women are just as rational and logical as men.
Oh, realistically, I would honestly say that men and women both have their irrational sides. But I'm going to go with disagree, just because I know that's the raging red pill. But, I mean, if I were to analyze this logically, I think both men and women are irrational in different ways.
Do the answer you want to do.
But then I know that's not going to get me the full marks for hostile sexism. It
might. I don't know.
Okay, just put it in the middle.
Like leave it here?
No, or
like right here?
What if we put it at agree?
Like slightly agree?
Yeah, slightly agree. You only get like a middle agree? Okay.
No, the middle is like neutral. And then there's slightly, and then there's like, very much, or
yeah. Okay, like let's go with let's just slightly agree. I mean, if you want me to be honest, I can go with the total.
Try to be honest.
All right.
Women have a special sensitivity that men could never achieve.
To what?
So just disagree or strongly disagree?
What do they disagree? Like sensitivity to
special
what?
Sensitivity.
You mean to themselves? I guess they have a special sensitivity to themselves. I don't know what the fuck that's worth, though. Disagree.
Right here?
No, fully. Like, get that sucker right in the... there we go. Let's keep going.
If a country has compulsory military conscription...
Agree!
Conscription should apply to men in equal... Yes, send them to the front lines. No. Women have nurturing capabilities that men could never achieve. How much?
Disagree. Oh, totally.
Okay. Women are too eager to
Agree.
interpret innocent remarks as sexist.
Yeah, agree.
Hard agree?
100%. Yes, hard agree. Yes. I mean, there's only partial agree and hard agree. So
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
I'm looking forward towards for my numbers.
Women should be cherished and protected by men.
No.
Like how much?
Oh,
No.
how about men should be cherished and protected by women?
You're
That's
not going to
even
find
on
that
the
in
text.
here. What are you talking about?
Okay, I'll go hard. I'll go hard. Disagree. I don't want to be mealy about any of this.
Yeah. In an emergency, women should not necessarily be rescued before men.
Agree.
Oh, okay. All the way?
All the way.
All right.
Max that sucker.
Women seek control over men in long-term heterosexual relationships. Control over men in long-term heterosexual relationships.
I'm not sure what we're talking about as control, but this is a hard one. Okay, I'll go with agree partially. I know I said I wouldn't be mean with it.
Yeah, I think it's like basically it's like micromanaging, nagging to like get their way. They definitely turn. I mean, I don't know. I could go through it myself, but anyway.
Yeah.
Gender equality and equal rights are entirely reasonable demands.
Yes.
Yeah, all the way.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, sure, go all the way.
Yeah, I mean they're not specifying women or men, so
nope.
When women lose fairly, they claim it was due to discrimination.
Agree. Well, you know what? I'm going to go with what women can do relative to men. Yes, women have the ability to claim that was due to discrimination, not men. Okay.
Okay. If a man and a woman go out on a date, the man should not necessarily pay.
Agree.
All the way?
Yep.
Okay. Women are too easily offended.
Oh, 100% agree. Hell, I mean, I've been a victim of that.
Yeah, for sure. Men should sacrifice to ensure the well-being of women.
Disagree highly.
Highly disagree. All right. Despite the fact they already do. A woman cannot be happy without a man to look after her.
What's the don't care opinion? Like, how do I reflect that?
That'd be the middle, I think. A woman cannot be happy without a man to look after her.
Middle.
All right, we'll leave it there. A good woman should be put on a pedestal.
No.
Okay, how much?
Why should a good woman be put on a pedestal? She should just be recognized that her actions are good.
Yeah.
Like, okay, let's next one.
How much do you disagree? Like this much?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay. Women exaggerate the problems they face in society.
Agree. Oh, boy. So, good fella got 99%, eh? Or no, wait.
Over here or over here? What is it like?
No, all the way over. Let's do it. Balls to the wall, Brian. Women tease men sexually on purpose. What, do they tease men sexually not on purpose? Do they not tease men?
Oh, I think it's that whole, this is like that whole like slut shaming thing. But I mean, and it says women, so not necessarily women that are in intimate relationships with men, but just sort of women generally. I think that's what I'm trying to think about what they're referring to.
Yeah, just go with fully agree.
Fully agree. All right, let's go. So let's see how you did.
Somebody said they got 99% hostile.
Oh, 76% hostile sexism.
Damn, someone
not
won.
That sexist, Allison. Got to get those numbers up.
Yeah, I got to get good.
Yeah, you got to get good. That's skill issue. It's not, it's not high enough.
Well, don't say it's a skill issue because I'm a woman. That's not allowed.
Oh, I can't do that.
Okay.
Let me see what it says. So, hostile sexism. Overtly negative beliefs about women as well as negative stereotypes about them. For example, the belief that women are entitled and egotistical, that women seek unearned privileges in society, or the belief that women seek to tease or control men sexually may all be seen as forms of hostile sexism.
The vote but not service to the state. Right there.
Yeah. What was that?
Not serving. I said seek the vote, but not service to the state. Now, the reason why I wouldn't put that on the feet lay that on the feet of all women, because most women didn't want the vote, right? Partially because they didn't want to have to do service to the state, but it was still granted to women, and it's still presented as equality when it patently, logically, reasonably, ethically, in any time of principles, is not equality. So that is presented as something it isn't. It's presented as inequality that was against women, that was solved. No, it wasn't solved, because the men who got the vote had to demonstrate service in wartime prior to getting the vote. This has been influence in government has been consistently associated with service in wartime since forever, since ever, right? Now, women were the only ones who ever got to stay in the state without an expectation of serving the state in war.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's that. And then going back and looking at that, whether or not you want to say it's right, it had to happen or whatever, but going back, turning around and looking at that and saying that isn't a situation of granting a privilege that men have never had in all of human history to women, but is instead correcting some kind of wrong against women, that indicates to me that women who espouse this want privileges that are unearned privileges. And it's impossible to argue against that. I've gotten into arguments, but they deteriorate into ad hominems, or just throwing out a lot of spaghetti so that they can pretend that they're arguing against what I'm saying, but no actual argument. All right. So I got 76, which, somebody else said
76%. Somebody in the chat,
99.
some people in the chat got higher scores. Nova fan got a 79. So he beat that. That's like 76. That's like a B. Isn't that like a B minus? And I think Gabriel said he got 100. So he went in.
How
like,
the heck
hard.
did you get numbers like that?
I don't know. Okay, I want to take a turn. Women have more refined sense of, and I'm going to be blunt, sort of, sense of culture than men. Disagree. No. Women are too easily offended. Yes, we actually encourage that. Women have a special sensitivity that men could never achieve. Special sensitivity, like you're sensitive, that men could never achieve. Nah, I disagree. Women exaggerate the problems they face. Yes. Women seek special favors. Yes. If a country has compulsory military conscription, that conscription should apply to men and women equally. I mean, okay, so I would say yes, but there is one issue. I think that women entering the military would get men killed, and we would lose wars. And I want to win wars, so I'm gonna disagree, but only slightly, because I think women could fulfill other roles. To be honest, if a man and a woman go on a date, the man should not necessarily pay. Disagree with that. When women lose fairly, they claim it was due to discrimination. Yes, they do. Gender equality and equal rights are entirely reasonable demands. Sure, but we have that, sort of. Actually, men are the ones lacking in those, if anything. So I would say that I do agree that it's reasonable, but I think it should apply to men. So
yeah.
A good woman should be on a pedestal? No. Oops, I almost pushed the wrong button. Women should be cherished and protected by men. No. Cherished and protected. Well, I mean, everybody should do that for everybody. But I'm going to disagree only because this is not inclusive. Women are too eager to interpret innocent remarks as sexist. Yes, they are. Because they benefit from those allegations. Women seek control over men in long-term heterosexual relationships. Yes, even the good ones. Women tease, it's like written in the Bible about it. Women tease men sexually on purpose. Yes, I'm on the internet. I see it. Women are just as rational and logical as men. No. Women have just as much of a sense of honor and duty as men. No, because it's not asked of them. Women cannot be happy without a man to look after her. No, I don't agree with that really. I think that there are edge cases where women can be fine on their own. They just can't like I think women who are angry at men and they're alone are still centering men. So women fail to appreciate all the things men do for them. Yes. In an emergency, women should not necessarily be rescued before men. Yes. Men should sacrifice to ensure the well-being of women. Men should sacrifice. No. Women are generally better people than men. Hell no. Women have nurturing capabilities that men could never achieve. No, I don't think so. 82%. Ooh, wait, I got higher than Allison. I'm more sexist than her.
It's because
but
it's probably because I didn't say anything about women actually needing men. Wow,
yeah,
that's interesting. Okay, so let me see how this is weighted.
what's
Probably
the meta? What's the meta? That's what I want to know.
it's probably 4 points, or sorry, 5 points for each. Okay, now let's see if we can get no sexism.
No sexism?
No sexism.
Impossible.
Impossible.
We can try.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's try to get no sexism. Women seek control over men in long-term heterosexual relationships.
No sexism. Disagree strongly.
Okay, disagree strongly. Women are just as rational and logical as men.
Agree.
All the way?
Yep.
Women should be cherished and protected by men.
Neutral.
Neutral? Okay. Women tease men sexually on purpose.
Disagree strongly.
Strongly disagree. Women seek special favors under the guise
Disagree.
of equality. Okay.
Disagree strongly.
Yeah. Women have just as much of a sense of honor and duty as men.
Agree strongly.
Agree strongly. Okay. Women have nurturing capabilities that men could never achieve.
Neutral.
Neutral? All right. A good woman should be put on a pedestal.
Neutral.
Neutral? A woman cannot be happy without a man to look after her.
Disagree strongly.
Strongly disagree. Gender equality and equal rights are entirely reasonable demands.
Strongly agree.
Strongly agree. Women exaggerate the problems they face in society.
Strongly disagree.
Strongly disagree. If a country has compulsory military conscription, that conscription should apply to men and women equally.
Strongly agree.
Strongly agree.
Whoa. Neutral. Neutral.
Neutral.
Agree. I'll go with strongly agree.
Strongly agree.
Also,
Okay.
I want to point out that because there's no corresponding question for men, this is only half the story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, what if you ask them, do you think men complain about problems? And they say yes. Does that suggest
That's
benevolent
sexist against
sexism?
men?
Because you are treating women as more like their problems as more legitimate. Okay,
Yeah.
let's keep. All right.
So
I'm trying to get neutral.
We're gonna leave it.
Yep.
We're gonna leave it neutral. What do you want?
No, I'd agree.
All right, agree. Women are generally better people than men.
Neutral.
Okay. Women fail to appreciate all the things men do for them.
Strongly disagree.
Strongly disagree. They always appreciate it. If a man and a woman go out on a date, the man should not necessarily pay.
Agree slightly.
Okay. Women are too easily offended.
Disagree strongly.
Yep. When women lose fairly, they claim it was
Disagree.
due to discrimination. Disagree strongly?
Disagree strongly.
In an emergency, women should not necessarily be rescued before men.
Neutral.
All right.
Wait, let me think.
Let me go back. Okay.
In an emergency, women should not necessarily be rescued before men. This is a hard one. Let's go with agree. Strongly agree.
Strongly agree. Okay. Men should sacrifice to ensure the well-being of women.
Neutral.
Neutral. All right.
Yeah. Whenever you have something that a genuine traditional opinion on men and women that does benefit women, I think you go neutral. Whenever
Okay.
it's obviously anti-woman, you go disagree or agree, depending.
I have
Okay,
no
so
strong feelings one way or the other.
Okay, keep
Tell my
going.
wife I said hello. All right. Women have a more, so I left it neutral. Women have a more
Neutral.
refined sense of culture than men.
Neutral. Yep.
Women are too eager to interpret innocent remarks as sexist.
Strongly disagree.
Yes. And then women have a special sensitivity that
Neutral.
men could never achieve. Neutral. So
Mhm.
we're going to go finish. Okay, before we do that, I got a Rumble rant. NovaFan21 gave us $1 and says, I am convinced this test is not a are you sexist quiz, but a which type of sexist are you type of quiz. Yes, which sexist are you? Somebody should make one that's like, which misogynist are you? And it has like all these archetypes, like the, you know, the fedora tipping guy and the PUA guy and the Andrew Tate guy and the I think that'd be funny. I think that'd be funny. Okay, finish. Let's see what we get. Oh, look at that. 12% benevolent sexism.
Now, how did I get any sexism?
Well, I mean, everybody's got a little bit of sexism. You can't avoid it. Well, maybe you can. I don't know.
Yes, no, you probably can. I'm just trying to think about where. I wonder if it's the neutral that I did. Yeah, it's pretty close, but I guess we could try to do better.
I don't know.
I wonder if it's the neutral ones.
That's the 12% that was missing from the other test.
Yeah.
We were at 88%.
This is bullshit. This is utter bullshit. The people who created this should feel embarrassed because you're not scientists. You're a bunch of flim-flam artists. Honestly, you should be run out of town and tarred and feathered because you made somebody's goat turn blue with your stupid Mr. Schmacky Schmack's super elixir of solving goat problems. Yeah. This is absolute bullshit. I'm going to ask Grok if there's any count. Is there any push or controversy around the ambivalent
sexism tests on idrlabs.com?
Yeah. Okay, let's see what Grok has to say. Yes, there's some controversy. Methodological flaws in scale construction. Asymmetry in measuring sexism towards men. No shit! Good Lord. In fact, this test could be true, could be used as evidence for some of the things that it says are hostile sexism. Lack of intersectionality. No, who gives a crap? I actually got into it with Grok about intersectionality, and I pointed out that intersectionality, while if it recognizes broad harms to women, but turns all harms to men into specific categories of men, then it still is doing the same thing. Because, okay, feminism, in order to prove itself, has to prove that men in authority equals women oppressed. So women at a disadvantage relative to men. So you actually have to look at the disadvantages that men face when they are in positions of power and authority, and they have to provide for women. You have to holding that constant. So that isn't evidence of anything. That itself is as evidence of nothing, because you are trying to prove a causal relationship between that and something else, which is the disadvantage of women. So you have to look at, are women disadvantaged? Right? That is the null hypothesis. If you can actually show that men have the same amount of disadvantage or more than women, you have proven the null hypothesis. Thus, feminism is incorrect. Guess what feminists never do or rarely do? Measure the one thing that invalidates their hypothesis, which is the situation for men. Okay? So intersectionality, all it does is it deflects from that. because it still allows for broad disadvantage for women, but it takes all of the disadvantages for men and witters them into categories without looking at the broad disadvantage for men, because get this, that's what disproves their theory. Somehow they always manage to juggle things in a way that they don't have to look at the thing that disproves their theory. Even though if they really were about equality, they would look at both sides equally, right? They wouldn't not look at men's side, right? And they wouldn't advance theories or conjectures that require not looking at men's side. They just assume. That's the thing. They assume men in power equals men better off. They assume it. They've never proven it. And I think there's a few studies that actually have looked at the null hypothesis, and the null hypothesis held in one, but we just ignore that. So feminism has actually been disproven in the literature, but we just ignore that.
Yeah.
But just ignore it. Why would we even pay attention to that, right? And I think one got mixed results, but I sort of pointed out to Grok that mixed results, that women have disadvantage and men have disadvantage, actually also proves the null hypothesis, depending on how mixed, right? So it's like this is a thing that's a problem. This inventory is just more evidence that feminists do not measure the side for men. Like that flat out didn't happen here. How is women are better people than men? Sexism against women. How is that sexism against women? Guys who developed the ambivalent sexism. Like, how did you do that? You know what? I know the flim flam artists are going to flim flam. Academia. You have this giant cancer growing in you. How come you haven't rooted it out using the principles you say you hold yourselves to? Why haven't you demanded that feminists test the null hypothesis? Not just like once or twice and then forget the results, but actually genuinely put their conjecture to test. Right? Why haven't you actually held them to the grindstone of all of the problems in their methodology? And the fact that you cannot assert that women are oppressed because men are in charge if you haven't actually genuinely looked at the situation for men. Where is that? Where's the oversight? Where's the ethics? Because they're doing a lot of harm at this point. A lot of harm. I mean, one thing that they're doing is they're promoting interventions in intimate batterer prevention programs that are shown to have less efficacy, substantially less, or they're actually, in some cases, worse than nothing. Like the feminist Duluth interventions and batterer programs are in many cases worse than nothing, or they have tiny effects. Right? Tiny effects, which might just be due to chance. The more rigorous the study is in investigating the effects, the worse these feminist-inspired programs do. And yet feminists are blocking programs that are sort of an evolved form of cognitive behavioral therapy called ACTV. Don't ask me to tell you what that acronym stands for. Actually, let me just ask Grok really quick. Acronym.
I got another quiz that might be even better.
Achieving change through values-based behavior. Okay, and this is a evolved offshoot of cognitive behavioral therapy. It is 2 times more effective than Duluth, and Duluth may be not effective at all. So that means the achieving change through values-based behavior is very effective in reducing recidivism among batterers, which means it protects women. And feminists are opposing it because it's not based on feminist ideology, even though feminist ideology, the programs based on have shown no efficacy at all, or very little, which also begs the question, doesn't that mean feminist conjecture is probably not correct? Like a prediction is that if feminists really understand where domestic violence comes from and what causes it, their interventions should be effective in stopping it, but they're not. And it's in some cases, they appear to be reverse effective. And yet they still promote interventions that don't reduce the rate of batterers of women, which means they're putting women at greater harm to pursue their ideological interventions. So I mean, we don't even talk about all of the awful stuff that feminism is doing to society. I actually got Grok to calculate. A conservative estimate is that 5,000 women a year are put in harm's way because we choose feminist interventions over non-feminist interventions, right? That's higher if you assume complete adoption of non-feminist interventions, and you also assume that because they're so effective, people start applying it widespread. If we actually got away from feminism and start looking at non-feminist interventions, we could really reduce the rate of battering, of actual domestic violence in our society. But we're not, because these people have no oversight. Whatever they say is swallowed uncritically, and academia has failed to control them. Okay, go ahead with your Rumble rant.
I already read it. Yeah. I did get a member comment earlier from Gabriel. I didn't like the member comments in the thread look like the regular comments. And he says, I did the test, got 100% hostile sexism. I'm proud. He's the only one that's gotten 100%. So the other thing is, I saw this too, because I thought I would click on this link where they describe liberal feminism right here, ambivalent sexism inventory. And apparently they have another test. This could be even juicier if you're curious. It's called the feminism test. This free feminism test will allow you to obtain your scores on 5 of the major positions in the gender equality debate found in Western democracies. Though both feminists and anti-feminists like to claim that the definition of feminism is straightforward, there is in fact considerable variety in how feminism is defined and serious disagreements, not just between feminists and anti-feminists, but also among the various positions within feminism itself. And basically, this test, I guess, it's going to land you in generally one of 5 different positions. Okay, 4 feminist positions, which is liberal feminism, radical feminism, Marxist feminism, and cultural feminism, as well as a single anti-feminism one, which they're calling traditionalism. This is a totally fair and based
Can we
quiz.
not?
42 questions. What?
42 questions?
Yeah, we don't have to do that now, but...
All right, fine, let's do it.
Do you want to do it? Do you want to find out where you sit?
Okay, can I go with what I believe women are capable of, so that we don't necessarily, but not necessarily what they are actually engaging in? Yeah, I'll do it.
Ideally, is that what you mean?
Yes. Yeah, but it's the other thing is, if this roots me to traditionalism, then don't they realize that anti-feminism has a lot of different approaches? I know.
Well, they're calling it traditionalism. So
Okay.
because the foregone conclusion is feminism is not traditional. Anything that opposes it is traditional.
Okay.
So
all right, let's do it.
That's basically their framing. That's the paradigm that they're dropping you in. So all right. 42 questions. Let's see what kind of feminist Alton is. Women are just as rational and logical as men.
Agree. Probably need to strongly agree. Otherwise, it's like a partial statement.
All right.
I mean, honestly, I'm really doubting that this has got degrees, because it's only has 5 points, which is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what kind of. Okay, the emancipation of women is one of the.
If you guys want to take this one too, there's a link in the original link where if you go into your ambivalent sexism and you look down here, there's a liberal feminism right there, or you can go back to the take the test again. And I think if you click on, hold on a second, I'm going to show you. Does it let me take the test again, or is it because I'm already in the test? Well, I think you can click on the tag feminism that's in there already. Yeah, like right here. And then there's like feminism test. Boom. So you can take it too if you want. All right, but anyway, question 2. The emancipation of women is one of the crowning glories of Western civilization.
Disagree. Strongly.
I strongly disagree. What is emancipation? What is that even? I'm waiting for it to catch up. It's okay. 3. The fat acceptance movement champions a worthwhile cause for women. It deserves more sympathy and support.
Disagree.
Strongly? We're going to do strongly for everything, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Women have just as much of a sense of humor and of honor. Didn't mean to misspeak. Women have just as much of a sense of honor and duty as men.
I think if they were held to one, so maybe just keep neutral.
All right. The mainstream cultural conceptions surrounding male-female dating and intercourse are constructed
Highly
by
disagree.
the patriarchy to satisfy men's desires.
So basically, you're delegitimizing any critique of what is supposed to be a scientific position. Do you realize how absolutely lacking in integrity that is? Disagree. 100%.
It is not possible to be sexist against men.
Disagree. 100%.
Children should be raised in as gender neutral a way as possible.
What does it mean by gender neutral? I think that boys and girls should be taught equivalent moral values. But I do not think you should force them to behave to like equivalent things or to have the same friends. So what does that mean? Because I'm pretty sure that Christian communities also teach boys and girls the sins and, the commandments. So I'm not sure I understand this. I
think that they assume the question. Okay, so that sounds like something that intersectional feminists would agree with, and I think that what it's based on is the presumption that the only reason why boys tend to like boy things and girls tend to like girl things is because they are raised and they are conditioned in their upbringing to like them. So like their parents are saying, you're a boy, you get the trucks. You're a girl, you get the dolls. And that's probably not the way it goes. I think that boys are just drawn to these mechanical things, that are toys, and girls are drawn to like the dolls in general. But if they break that, they don't like hold it against them, like boys like Legos, and Legos aren't necessarily masculine, right? They're not trucks or action figures. And girls may like, like they also may like Legos or building blocks or something too. So, but the sort of intersectional position is that anytime boys and girls grow up when they are doing things that are more in line with like what we would find to be typical of them, like boys with trucks and girls with dolls, they assume that it's a product of social engineering as opposed to just like nature,
Mm-hmm.
So this question is basically saying that this is an intersectional question. They're asking like, do you agree with the intersectional position of like social, grooming, I guess. I don't know, for lack of a better word.
I reject their framework of gender neutral. I think you raise kids with equivalent morals and you allow them access to what they would like to play with, and you don't judge that or force it in any way.
Right.
You just let them be kids. So I'm going to go with neutral.
I'm the same way. Like, I mean, it's probably going to turn out that boys are going to want the action figures and girls are going to want the dolls, but you just have to be okay with it if that's what they choose. So
yes. Okay, neutral.
So neutral.
I'll just go with the middle. Yeah.
All right. Women are just as independent and risk-seeking as men.
Literally not true. Like studies indicate multiply that women are more risk adverse than men. Disagree. Like this is just basically a bullshit framework. Like, welcome to our fun house of mirrors. Where do you fit? Like in your labyrinth of bullshit? Okay. Go ahead. Full disagree.
The labyrinth of bullshit sounds terrible. I would not want to be stuck in there. It's like the walls are shit. Everything smells. Men's rights activists and male-bashing feminists are equally tribal and regressive in their thinking. So MRAs and feminists are the same.
We're going to go back to this.
Both sides.
But the thing is that which do you? If I go full disagree, because I don't think that men's rights activists are regressive. How do they know that I'm saying disagree for the male bashing feminists or disagree for the men's rights activists? Go disagree. Go full disagree. We're gonna go back to that one. Full disagree.
Should I go full disagree? Okay.
Yeah, you know, I think we should do these tests and just keep it in the middle for all of them and see what result you get. We'll go back to I think, but we'll do that next. Okay, let's finish this off.
All right. Women are generally better people than men.
Disagree.
Yes. Contemporary Western societies are to a very large degree defined by the patriarchy. Well, that probably has to be true of any feminist position, right? So this right here, I think, puts you in the anti-feminist category. Yep. Gender differences are immutable, and men and women have distinct but complementary social roles to play.
What do you mean by immutable?
Like you can't change them.
I guess slight agree. Just in the interest of getting through this.
Men who support female empowerment are inherently weak.
Empowerment along what access? Do you mean
this is kind of bullshit? This is a bullshit statement.
Okay, but here's the thing. Men who support what kind of empowerment? Empowerment for women to be recognized as agents and that their lives are a result of a consequence of their own choices? Because that's what empowerment looks like from where I'm sitting. So I would go with a strong agree. But I don't think that's how they define empowerment. In fact, I don't even think they have a consistent, sensible, or logical definition for empowerment. Okay, go full agree.
All right. The wage gap is a myth. Women already get equal pay for equal work. Yeah, that's not even up for debate. Giving women the vote was a mistake. Okay, Alton, I'm gonna let you answer that one.
Yeah, it was a mistake. Well, but then again, the process of human history is to evolve past.
A lot of women thought so too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I will say that I have a part of me that's just like, yeah, fuck it, do it. Let's see what chaos brings, what chaos will result. And I mean, it did force us to understand ourselves more, or will force us to understand ourselves more, which is why we're on this earth, as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we define it? If you want a stable society, probably it is actually, you know what's a mistake more than anything? Is starting to groom women towards voting towards a particular party by making them embrace for a lifestyle that leaves them miserable and hungry for things that they can only get in very disruptive ways without family. I'm not going to answer it.
Is leave it neutral?
Yeah, that's probably going to get me dinged anyway.
Yeah, you're supposed to disagree. Contemporary Western society is permeated by rape culture.
Yeah, against men.
Permeated?
No, not as defined by feminist conjecture. But if you want to say that the rate at which women are sexually preying on men is increasing and their attitudes are getting more regressive towards their male victims, yeah, sure. But they're not going to. So now I'm going to go with disagree. You know what? Keep it neutral.
Neutral?
Okay. Yeah.
If women ran the world, there would be less violence and fewer wars.
No, and there's evidence against that. Like, is this just basically opinions about shit that are impervious to evidence?
This is like olive oil. If I was president.
Disagree strongly.
All right, disagree strongly. The essences of men and women are so different that it makes no sense to speak of human rights, only male and female rights.
Oh, this is new.
These things are separate things.
I don't think so. Who the hell believes that? Disagree?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I don't even see that's a traditional
position, maybe.
Yeah, because I don't know, because I don't even want male rights. But I don't even think
Well, they first
traditionalists.
have
I
to
don't think
categorize them as separate so that then they can take them away. So
do traditionalists believe this? Because I'm pretty sure
I
there
don't
isn't a
think
his
so.
and her
No.
commandments, 10
No,
commandments.
yeah, I don't think that a traditionalist believes that.
Okay, let's keep going then.
Okay. The psychological tricks and manipulations used by pickup artists to get women to sleep with them should be considered a type of hate crime.
Is makeup a hate crime? Disagree strongly.
It is hypocritical for Western feminists to bash Western men for the smallest grievances while largely ignoring the absence of fundamental rights for women in the Muslim world.
Well, yeah, it's hypocritical, but I don't agree with the premise.
That sounds like a traditional, what they would categorize as a traditionalist position. Although,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've heard that, but I don't know that. I mean,
Can
yeah,
I
I
go
think
with
that's
neutral?
Tradcons say this stuff all the time, so for sure.
Yeah. Can I just go with neutral because the premise is like retarded?
Yeah. Well, yeah, the position of women in the Muslim world is fine relative to the men in that same world, and
Mhm.
they're like the largest. They're as big of an enforcer of that belief system as the men are. So it's kind of coming from ignorance, anyways, right? So this position, I mean, okay, so neutral for this one.
Yeah.
All right. The state should enforce quotas mandating that fathers and mothers take a roughly equal amount of parental leave.
Agree.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Trump's political standpoints and statements are bad news for women in America.
Disagree. I mean,
Pretty sure he hasn't really done anything to women at all.
no,
But okay.
I don't think he's done anything to women at all. And they seem
This
to
is
forget
intended
that
to invoke TDS in people.
I think they've forgotten that the whole Supreme Court stuff around Roe versus Wade happened with Biden. Although, I mean, I guess Trump appointed some justices, but
Yeah.
okay, let's keep going.
All right. Since men repress women not only in the public sphere, but also in the home, feminism should not uphold the distinction between private and political, but in fact regard the private as political.
Disagree.
Yeah. That doesn't sound like any specific brand. That sounds like all of it.
But no, but they're probably going with traditionalism or anti-traditionalism or something. Okay, keep going.
Gender equality has largely been achieved in the West. Barring certain ethnic minorities, the struggle for equality is as good as over.
I know that they mean women, but I don't think equality for men has been achieved. Just put neutral.
Okay. Female empowerment necessarily disempowers men.
Well, it depends on what type. God, is this a test for like a political position or just inability to think critically?
I think it's
like,
I think it's meant to like trigger your, if you're like a diehard feminist dyed in the wool, you have answers to these questions, and you're not concerned about any of the assumptions baked into the questions themselves, right?
Neutral.
Because there are assumptions baked in.
I'm just going to go with neutral, and I think it's a question that can't be answered with the information presented.
Yeah. Swimwear advertisements featuring excessively thin models should be banned.
For men or for women?
Well, men don't care. So I'm assuming for women.
I honestly think maybe they should ban or at least pull back on like the male beauty ideal that the guy looks like he's 2 seconds away from being in the ER needing to get fluids intravenously, which is basically Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, you mean like the Marvel, the MCU bodybuilding?
Yeah, they are Marvel MC, and you know that they have to starve themselves and dehydrate themselves to get that cut.
Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous.
So it's actually extremly dangerous, and nobody talks about it. Like women who are supposedly anorexic, they're just skinny. You look at them; they probably have a body fat percentage of 15%, 20%. They just don't have any muscle, and they have incredibly small bones. They're not actually that thin. But when you look at these guys, they're really skating the edge of self-destruction with this ideal. So yeah, I would say that maybe we should reconsider showing men as a masculine ideal when they're in a state of near physical collapse and unhealthiness. Genuine. This is beyond what they call anorexia and bulimia. These guys, if they push it like an hour longer, they're in the AR with dehydration, like health issues related to dehydration and starvation. Like, that's gross. You know, we should probably get rid of that. But no, I don't.
No, I agree. I remember when Christian Bale, he lost weight for a role in this movie called The Machinist, where he was really thin, and he I guess he did some permanent damage to his heart, and basically like cut his life short by like a year or something. It was some crazy story. So yeah, just nuts. But when it comes to like the super thin supermodels, actually that they're not as celebrated these days as they used to be. So I don't feel like this is really an issue anymore. Like now we have like, you know, plus size models everywhere, and I don't really see the big deal. Like it's not like, you know, who's the Iman of today? You know, do you guys remember Iman? She was with David Bowie, or Grace Jones, or some of these like, you know, Cindy Crawford. There are no super like celebrity models these days. Not the thin kind anyway. Mostly they just use celebrities or Lizzo.
Yeah.
But anyway, so which one do you want to pick for this?
Neutral. I can't answer this without more clarity.
Okay. White men peddle hatred against Muslims as a way to distract women from the fact that they are oppressed. What?
Disagree.
What? Okay. Wait, white men peddle hatred against Muslims as a way to distract women from the fact that they are oppressed. Muslim women? Or no, I think they mean their own women.
Yes.
White women. Yeah, okay. Pornography should not be legal.
Disagree, but I'm not exactly sure what they think traditionalists are going to say about that. Next.
The state should enforce quotas mandating that a certain percentage of male-dominated high-end jobs, like CEOs, board memberships, professorships, etc., should go to women. So there should be quotas.
Disagree.
Yeah. Okay. Women can do every job in the military just as well as men.
Disagree. If they can't, if they can't compete with trans women, how can they do this?
Yeah.
Okay. Next.
If the use of sex robots becomes a normal practice, this will lead to the dehumanization of women. Oh,
Disagree.
Women most affected. Robots exist. Disagree? Okay. The male gaze's tendency to objectify women against their will is a serious problem for women.
Do you know, can we address the fact that this latest generation of women is like 3 to 4 times using a flat out rape relative to the current generation of men or any generation in history? Can we address that? Can we address that their attitudes are getting more and worse and worse and worse and more regressive when it comes to male victims of rape? Why are we, oh, he's raping me with his, can we stop? Like, can we triage this? Can we triage this? Seriously. Is it possible? No. Disagree.
Disagree strongly. Let's go. There are only 2 genders.
I don't care. Put it in the middle.
All right. The lack of nuanced roles for women in movies is a serious problem for gender equality. The lack of nuanced roles for women in movies.
Do you mean all the girl bossing? All of the wretched girl bossing?
Did you describe that as wretched? Because I think it is wretched. Yes, it's wretched.
Disagree.
Disagree, yeah.
I know exactly what they're getting from.
Yeah, I know. They're not. There's not enough of it.
Sex. Okay.
Sex in blurred lines kinds of situations where the woman does not explicitly consent but does not explicitly say no either is morally on par with rape.
This is the song in which the woman took all of the physical initiative. How can people who think that that is some kind of rape culture directed at women? No, I got it. I see why they just don't care about sexual violence. They just can't conceive of it. If they're thinking that this guy inviting a woman to touch him, to take the initiative to touch him, is him raping her, I don't know. I think they exist in another universe from me.
Yeah.
Disagree.
Strongly. Okay. Market economies unfairly favor men's abilities over women's.
Why would market economies unfairly favor anyone? A market economy is based on what people are willing to pay you for.
Yeah, I don't know what that. I mean, in
And
terms of your
also,
productivity.
what the hell? Look at OnlyFans or modeling or prostitutions. And market economies are actually privileging women's contributions remarkably. Okay, go
Yeah,
with disagree. What a nonsense
disagree.
statement.
Feminists who don't actually play video games should refrain from criticizing the portrayal of women in video games.
Let me look at that again.
Do you want me to read it
Yes,
to you again?
agreed.
Yes.
I'm getting double banned.
Get
from
your
the
hands
Calgary
off my
Expo.
2D waifu, please. Okay. Men's tendency to find young and slender women more attractive than older and plumper ones has much to do with the media as it has to do with biology.
Well, yeah, but media does have some effect. Like, if you actually look at how beauty ideals change, usually women embraced the skinny ideal first, and then men followed. And it never, like, men's ideal never became as slender as women's ideal. It was women that made the imams and the Kate Mosses, right? They made those ideals, and men sort of followed along and never went that skinny in their own ideals. So yes, it does have something to do with media, but younger, no.
But women are the ones. You're saying that women are ultimately the ones that set the tone, and the media is simply the medium through which that happens. But when they say media, they're treating it like some kind of outside
Well, they're saying men.
amorphous force that's outside of women, right?
Yeah, men just decided that they wanted this kind of chick, and then they forced it on every other man.
Yeah. So like, when they say media, it's like saying society did this. Right?
Yeah, which is like saying men did this. Let's be
yes,
honest.
which is like saying it's another way of saying men did this.
I will go with I don't know, just middle. I don't care. Let's move on. I want to get this done.
The idea that men and women should have the same rights is cultural and civilizational suicide.
No, the idea that what feminist is following is equal rights, when in actuality it's special privileges for women. Men don't have reproductive rights. They don't have rights in bodily autonomy when it comes to conscription, right? They are actively being discriminated against in education and in hiring and in the family courts. Like, if we pursue all of this under and pretend to ourselves that we're pursuing equal rights, we are pursuing disaster. Honestly, I think that if we had genuinely pursued equal rights, maybe we would be considerably better off. But that's not what we did. And honestly, it's become a object lesson in what actually happens when you do these things. So it may be that pursuing equal rights opened up this Pandora's box.
Yeah.
But then the other thing is that I believe that we face these problems for a reason, and the reason is to overcome them. So I think that this is a problem that we need to overcome, and then we will be better for it. And if we don't overcome it, it's because we've ceased to be able to learn about ourselves. So I'll go neutral.
Neutral. All right.
Yep.
2, 3 left. Women can be just as happy as men without a stable relationship.
Disagree. It doesn't.
Disagree?
It isn't. Yeah, statistically, it doesn't show that.
Whoa. Okay. It is not possible to be feminist and right wing.
I don't care. Give it a neutral.
Right. Last one. Prostitution should not be legal.
Disagree. But it's
all right.
Yeah.
Strongly disagree.
Okay.
Huh? All right. Let's see where you fall. You are mostly traditionalist, apparently, then liberal feminist, and then Marxist feminist, 27%. Oh, we got a red one in here, guys.
Traditionalism refers
Well, you want to read
illiberal,
it?
yeah, liberal
Illiberal,
standards.
illiberal
Illiberal,
strands of philosophy. Yeah.
which should seek to preserve what they see as the natural and traditional order of things. In the past, this standpoint was chiefly represented by early 20th century thinkers like Julius Evola and René Guénon. For after a hiatus following World War II, traditionalism has resurfaced as a new type of conservatism to the right mainstream conservatism. It's chiefly popular among younger voters who are skeptical of liberal Enlightenment principles that mainstream conservatives accept, uniting instead behind a national pride, a critical stance towards feminism and Islam, and a resistance to globalism. I'm not yeah, I think it's just because I have a critical stance towards feminism. That's it.
Well, yeah, the questions had very little to do with Islam. I think that was like one or two questions, and none about globalism or national pride. So they're just sort of like lumping things in um into that. It's like, oh, you're associated with this, and so this is associated with this other thing, and so you must be like associated with that other thing as well. But that doesn't really matter. I mean, we're just looking. Okay, so I'm just curious, but I don't know if you want to. Do you want me to read these other categories, see what they are?
Sure.
Okay, liberal feminism refers to a feminist philosophy rooted in Enlightenment principles. Its classical works were penned by thinkers such as Mary Wollstonecraft and John Stuart Mill. Mary Wollstonecraft, the original feminist, by the way. This type of feminism holds that men and women are each other's equals and as such deserve equal rights. It is the type of feminism that people allude to when they say feminism just means equal rights. As opposed to other forms of feminism, liberal feminism is individualistic rather than group-based. Men and women deserve equal rights because both are individuals. Rights are granted to individuals, not genders or groups. All right. And then radical feminism holds that men oppress women through internalized forms of dominance, i.e., patriarchy. Women must come together and end this oppression by rejecting traditional gender roles, putting women in dresses, making them wear makeup, and so on makes them sexual objects that perpetuate male dominance. Women must refuse to comply with the beauty standards that the patriarchy expects. Radical feminists see a link between men's objectification of women and sexual violence and abuse. Prostitution, pornography, and advertisements that sexualize women are therefore not decisions that can be left to individual choice. They must be resisted by women everywhere as forms of male oppression.
Okay, so why do they have such a problem with trans women?
Radical feminists?
Yeah, like seriously, why do you guys have such a problem with trans women? Invariably, trans women want that role.
Yeah, they can't take it from women though. That's why.
Yeah, but you don't want the role. Like radical feminists are like, okay, this is patriarchy objectification of women. Radical feminists like, we don't want that. And then the trans women pick it up and say, okay, well, we'll do it. And then the radical feminists like, no, not like that. Like, why do you care so much?
Yeah, intersectionality isn't listed here. They have. So next is Marxist feminism. Maybe that's where it is. Marxist feminism holds that the mode of production in capitalist societies is organized in a way that favors men's abilities over women's. As opposed to radical feminists who see patriarchy as the source of gender inequality, Marxist feminists see capitalism as the cause. Marxist feminists argue that the structures of capitalist economies coerce women into assuming responsibility for unpaid domestic tasks such as homemaking and child rearing, while leaving men free to earn money in the public sphere. Gender equality can therefore never be achieved in a capitalist economy. While Marxist feminism was originally about economic revolution, more recent writers have changed their focus from economic issues to cultural ones, placing more of an emphasis on the fight for social justice than the fight to topple capitalism. Cultural feminism holds that women and men are essentially different and that women are generally more nurturing, more empathetic, and less violent than men. Cultural feminists seek to celebrate these qualities, which they believe have been oppressed by men. Cultural feminists believe that both men and women are hurt by contemporary male-dominated society, which they see as encouraging male behaviors such as competition and conflict. According to cultural feminism, if women were given more power, there would be less violence, fewer wars, and more understanding in the world. So it sounds like feminists of today are just a mishmash of all of these things. They're just taking the parts of everything that they can use and they just make it their thing. Have you noticed that? Even traditionalism, modern feminist women today they're trying to like min-max their feminism builds. So they have like some of the stuff from liberal feminism, like the defenses and whatnot, a lot of the stuff from radical feminism. And by the way, all these feminisms have the same thing in common. They may try to describe them differently, but they're all fighting against a system that is basically men, whether you call it patriarchy or capitalism or, you know, heteronormativity
Culture.
or whatever. Yeah, or culture.
It's all fighting against men and saying that they're victims of men and using that narrative to enact whatever particular thing that they want. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we've been at this for an hour and a half.
We can stop.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be kind of fun to do, but
I'm really curious. I was really curious about that one question about men's issues, but the only way we could go back to it is the one in the middle there. Like if we could try just going completely neutral on everything and then getting to that question again. Which one?
You mean go?
No. It's one that specifically states something about men's rights activists. Like if you go to the beginning, go to the very beginning.
It's not this quiz though, right?
It is this quiz. It's this quiz.
Not the sexism quiz, but the feminist test.
Yeah, the feminist test. Just let's speed run this. Just go next and put it in until we get to that question. Just slow a little bit. Wait.
Wait, did I skip it?
I think you might.
Men's rights activists and male bashing feminists are equally tribal and regressive.
And what if you say we went with neutral?
You said strongly disagree to that one, I think.
Yeah, let's go strongly disagree and then put everything else neutral.
All right.
Yeah, just speed run this shit. We'll do it again and maybe put neutral on that one and see what it has to say. Okay, we need like a button pressing song.
No, we don't. People can see this. They're watching.
Boop, boop, boop.
52% liberal feminism, 50% everything else.
Okay, go back to that question. Go back to the question and let's put neutral. Like, and that basically that is 50% everything.
Take the test again. So leave everything neutral.
Everything neutral.
Except for everything neutral.
Taking a test, making it all neutral, seeing what we get. We're probably just going to get all 50%, right?
I don't know. Maybe. Yep, 50% everything.
So
perfectly balanced.
So go back and just put so that particular number, that particular question is going to liberal feminists, but it's not saying anything about traditionalism because it and this is the problem with this entire test. It is really poorly constructed because you should really be asking, do you believe that men's rights activists are the same as man hating feminists? Which, incidentally, if you believe that men oppressed women, you're sort of hating men there. You're casting them in the role of a criminal, which, I mean, even if you think you don't hate men, that is consistent with the kind of threat narratives that people use in war propaganda to justify murdering an entire group of people. So it's pretty powerful stuff. But anyway, that particular question is really confusing because you could say that man-hating feminists aren't the same as men's rights activists. It's the men's rights activists who are regressive tribalists. And you could say that man-hating feminists are the regressive tribalists, right? But it doesn't really clarify. And that question, the answer to that question seems to just speak to liberal feminism.
Maybe it moves it by 2%. Is that what happened when you moved it all the way to disagree or all the way to agree? So I'm going to pick. I'm on this question again.
When we went to all the way to agree, when we went to disagree,
it moved it up to.
Go put disagree. Put disagree and see where it moves the needle.
And then everything else neutral.
Everything else neutral. Like we're basically hacking this test.
Speed run. Okay. 48%. So yeah.
Yeah.
52% when you all the way agree, 48% when you disagree.
And 50% if you're neutral on that question.
Mm-hmm.
So in essence, if you are a liberal feminist, you need to disagree that men's rights activists, or you need to agree that men's rights activists and feminists, or radical feminists, man-hating feminists, are the same, right? And if you disagree, you lose points from the liberal feminist category.
Yeah.
All right. And so that's probably why I ended up having a higher liberal feminism, because it's less man-hating, I guess.
I think that they're basically classifying less man-hating as still feminist, just liberal feminist, not traditionalist though.
No.
So, which by the way, they say traditionalism is kind of like it doesn't necessarily, it's basically like everything else. It's like a category of everyone who doesn't fit into the other feminist categories.
Well, it seems
So
like liberal feminism.
it's not really traditionalist. It's like anti-feminist, non-feminist, you know.
It's anybody who has a criticism of feminism. But here's the kicker. Feminism bills itself as a science. Criticisms of feminism shouldn't be subject to this kind of social ostracization. Like this should be embraced as part of the scientific process. So feminism is like it's acting like a religion and pretending to be a science. Because you're not supposed to socially ostracize the people who critique your science. That's part of the scientific process. So this is like, all this proves to me is that that feminism is anti-science. It's actually just a blot upon science. Okay. All right. Is there anything further that you wanted to do with these?
No, I think that's it. That's good.
I mean, we could painstakingly and spurgingly just hack the whole damn thing.
No, it's I don't want to do that. I don't think it's that intellectually rigorous. I mean,
I think we can conclude that it's got a lot of bullshit.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of assumptions built into
a lot of assumptions, a lot of questions that aren't sufficiently clear to know what the hell they're measuring. So it's typical of feminist science. Like it's just a bunch of bullshit that doesn't know what it's measuring. All right, so with that, feedthebadger.com/justthetip. We might have another.
You want to poke the voles?
Yeah, I'll poke the voles.
Yeah, I read Sleepy Aussie's comment. He's 97% sexist, so hostile sexism.
And congratulations.
You're moving on up.
You're flaunting your sexism.
Yeah, you're over here bragging.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
Okay, I think that was let's see. No, there's another thing that went through. What the heck? What's going on here? Oh, I think this was him, except I think he also put a tip for $5. That's why it's looking like it's $10 on mine. All right. Well, anyway, so feedthebadger.com/justthetip if you want to send us a message about anything that we've talked about. If you enjoyed this particular content, you want us to do more stupid feminist tests, please don't want us to do that. Feedthebadger.com/justthetip. And if you want to support the show, feedthebadger.com/support. We are at the end of the month, and we still have something like 3,000 left to go. So it'd be great if you could help us out. Feedthebadger.com/support to make sure we can fund this show, because it's a grind. And we got a message from Janice who's like, I can't believe that you guys keep doing this, but we're going to keep grinding away at this so that there is a consistent voice every day, or mostly every day, saying that this is wrong, this is ridiculous, this is dumb. Can we stop doing this? Stop the car, let us out, like, before we go over the cliff, please. So anyway, support that, feedthebadger.com/support, and I will hand it back to you, Brian.
All right. Well, if you guys like this video, please hit like, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, hit the bell for notifications, leave us a comment. Let us know what you guys think about what we talked about on the show today. If you want to put your score in the comments, let us know how you did on the sexism test. I'd like to see it in the comment section. What?
Jacobus Peterson in the vertical chat, which was very quiet today, says the inclusion of Evolo directly equates trad with fascism. Well, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's again, yeah, that's
yeah, but that's the feminist
under.
framework. That's the feminist framework. There are two genders, two sexes, right? And you know that there's only two sexes. Yeah, women and fascists. Women and fascists. Well, you don't need
women and fascists. That's it.
People, what's this patriarchal bullshit, Brian? They're not people. There are women, which we can't define, and fascists. Yes. We can define fascists.
Yes. And we should probably do something about those fascists in Minecraft. All right, but anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and all that good stuff. Thanks, guys, for coming on. I look forward to seeing your scores in the comment section, and we'll talk to you guys in the next one.
Men's rights activists are machines, dude. Okay? They are literal machines. They are talking point machines. They are impossible to fucking deal with, especially if you have like a couple dudes who have good memory on top of that too. Holy shit, you're fucked.